If you are somebody who constantly belittles themselves or gets on themselves after a mistake, telling yourself, I suck, I need to be better next time, all these sorts of things, this video is going to directly challenge your belief in that helping you out. This is something that I see way too many athletes doing. They think that if they get on themselves after a mistake, if they're harder on themselves, that they're going to start to play better, that it's going to ignite this internal fire that motivates them and pushes them to be even better on the next play, on the next rep, whatever that might be. And this just isn't true, right? You're basically teaching your brain how to treat yourself after a mistake, and you're showing your brain what your default pattern should be. It is something of negativity, and it is something where you are constantly belittling yourself, making yourself out to be worse than you really are. It's something so interesting because we do this because we think, okay, coach is going to yell at me, and I want to hold myself to a very high standard. I want to hold myself to these high expectations. So I'm going to yell at myself also to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So you're not wrong. This urgency and this objective nature of being truthful and honest with yourself does help improve your performance. That does happen. It's when we combine this urgency and this objective truth with self-deprecation and with belittling, mean, bully tone, that's when we start to get this issue. And that's when the issue becomes something a lot bigger. If we can keep it solely objective and we can take away some of the urgency to fix the mistake and be patient, that's where we're really going to see our performance start to take off. This video is going to go over a lot of different stuff, showing you why that's happening, why more positive, more neutral self-talk is probably the better route. And then we're going to show you how we can make that happen. Okay, so let's just jump right into this. I'm going to pull up the whiteboard here and take you through a quick flow chart just so that you can see this laid out. It's very, very simple, but you've probably never seen it laid out this way. And as I go through this, you're definitely going to see some examples in your own games, in your own practices, in your own scrimmages where you can find yourself following this flow chart on the negative side. And as we go through this, I want you to think of times where this has happened to you. And then as we go through the more positive side, I want you to picture yourself making those changes in your own practices, games, scrimmages. Okay, so let's say that you are a hitter and you strike out. So the event is going to be, strikeout. Let's say, it's either a bad swing or a bad strike three call by the umpire. Something that you're really upset about, something that you're not happy with. We're going to be working with this event for the entirety of the flow chart, right? So you have this really bad thing happen. When this bad thing happens, you're going to have thoughts, right? There's going to be this 10 to 30 second just like outburst of feeling, thought that you're probably gonna have some control over, but for the most part, it's going to be frustration. It's going to be difficulty with something bad that just happened, which is a strikeout, right? So you're going to have thoughts, and depending on where your thoughts go, which I want this to be a really, really big takeaway, is your thoughts are a choice. You are choosing whether to go down this path of positive and neutral thoughts towards this success cycle, or you are choosing to have negative thoughts going towards the sewer cycle. That is massive. You are in control of your thoughts. And I want to be very clear also that everything down is reliant on the one thing above in the flow chart. So if that makes sense. So your thoughts here, your thoughts here are reliant on the event, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so if we take it one step further, so we're going to get to this in a second, but your nervous system activation and your emotions, if you have negative thoughts, are directly tied to your thoughts. And we're going to get to this in a second. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go through the sewer cycle because this is probably the more default pattern for you guys right now. So let's say, okay, strike out, bad swing, bad strike three call. There's going to be some negative thoughts. What are these negative thoughts going to be? Maybe something like, I suck. Maybe something like, here we go again. Maybe something like, I'm not cut out for this level. Tons and tons and tons of just negative thoughts, right? Let's do a couple more. Maybe something really bad, like, why do I even play this game? So all these negative thoughts, right? And so when we're having these negative thoughts, that takes us down to this next part, right? And I just want you guys to focus on the right side of the screen for now. We're going to go through the positive side a little bit later. So takes us to this emotions plus nervous system activation, right? So when you're thinking all of these thoughts, I suck, here we go again, I'm not cut out for this level, why do I even play this game? What does that make you feel? That probably makes you feel pretty tense, right? If you're just thinking these things, you're probably making yourself pretty worried. You're probably doubting yourself, which brings me to my next point. You're probably feeling doubt. You're probably not feeling very confident. You're probably not feeling your best. Okay, so you're feeling tense. You're feeling doubt. What is this going to make your body do? It's going to make your heart start to race. This is because we're having all these negative thoughts. We're having all these negative thoughts about the future specifically, and it's activating this fight or flight response within our body, right? So it's going to make our heart race. It's going to make our breathing shallow. It's probably going to make your palms sweaty. And these are all normal things, right? These are all normal things if you are experiencing anxiety, if you're having a fight or flight response. You probably have noticed these things when you're taking a test and you're thinking these negative thoughts too. This is not just for baseball, right? This is for all parts of life. If you are having these negative thoughts, they will lead to these feelings, right? All these feelings: tension, doubt, heart racing, shallow breathing, palms being sweaty. And I'm sure that you guys have had coaches say, okay, slow the game down. We want the game to always be slow, always be under our control, especially if we're pitchers, if we're hitters. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing, whether we're pitchers or hitters. You want to be in control of the game. You don't want to have someone else be dictating how you feel, whether you feel under control or not. So when you're having these thoughts, it's causing here. So when you're having these thoughts, it's causing these feelings of tension, of doubt, and it's making, because you're tense and you're doubting and you're not confident, it's making your heart race, making your palms sweat, taking your focus away from the present moment and putting it into all these other worries, right? So when this happens, it leads to suboptimal performance. Maybe you can play great when your heart is racing and your palms are sweaty, but I really doubt it, right? It's really, really difficult, and you can luck into good performance, but you're not going to be playing your best baseball at a very consistent level. And I think it's really important to note that it all comes back, your suboptimal performance all comes back to these thoughts. And if we can just change these thoughts to something more productive, something that's going to make you have different emotions and nervous system activation, then we can change the outcome. Okay, so let's go back to the little fork in the road here. So if you have negative thoughts, you're going to go down this sewer cycle path that we just went down. However, if you can change your thoughts, if you can have that 10 to 30 second outburst, get that out of your system, right? Like, I'm not telling you that you can't be upset or you can't be pissed off after you strike out. That's totally fine. I mean, it's probably better that you get those feelings out. I want you to feel those things. After that short outburst, and again, maybe outburst isn't the right word, but once you've gotten over it in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, we are going to make a choice, an active choice, to have positive or neutral thoughts. I'm never going to tell you guys you have to have positive thoughts, because things like striking out or getting a bad call, those are not positive. And I'm not going to tell you to fake that. I really don't want you to fake that, because you can feel when that's fake, and you know that's not real. So sometimes they're going to be positive, sometimes they're just going to be more neutral. But I want us to go through these thoughts, and I want us to change every single one into more positive. Okay, so I want to challenge that very first one. So I suck. What can we turn that into that's more positive or more neutral? Maybe something like, that wasn't my best performance. That's more neutral. And while it's probably not helping you, that thought is definitely not hurting you, right? That's not making you play worse. The next one. Here we go again. I want you to challenge yourself here. Here we go again. That's saying that some outcome is going to happen, that we're in some algorithm that we can't stop, and that's not true. Instead of saying, here we go again, we can say something like, Next time will be different. Okay, do you see how that's at the base of the phrase? It's something different. Okay, next time will be different. That means next time, I have more information now. Maybe I saw his slider, I saw his changeup, and I struck out on that pitch because I hadn't seen it yet. But now that I've seen it, now I know what to look for. Now I know what his sequencing is. Next time will be different because I have more information and I'm feeling better about my timing, my pitch selection, whatever that may be. It's a much more optimistic way to look at things. Okay, we can also add a few different thoughts. So, what's something more positive? What's something more neutral after striking out that can make us feel better? I've seen his stuff now. I know what he has. Very assuring. Lots of confidence is coming through in that. You could even do something completely separate from hitting. Like you could tell yourself if you're running back out onto the field after the last out of the inning, time to make a difference in another part of the game. I like that a lot too. We don't have to just sit here and just talk only about hitting. We can talk about fielding also. Okay, so we have these more positive or neutral thoughts now, right here. These ones. Cool. We have these now. What does that lead us to? Emotions, nervous system activation. What kind of emotions are we going to be feeling with these more positive thoughts? That wasn't my best performance. Next time will be different. That makes me feel reassured. That makes me feel trusting in my skill. That makes me feel like okay, I've put the work in. I deserve to be confident in myself. I've seen his stuff now. I know what he has. That's honestly, it's probably making me feel better. That's probably making me feel like more optimistic. It's making me excited to go hit my next time up, right? And so all of these feelings, being reassured, being trusting, being confident, excited, that is going to relax your muscles. You're probably going to feel loose. And when you feel loose and relaxed but still concentrated, that's when you're going to play your best baseball, right? And so these feelings will lead you to a good chance for optimal performance. Now, you might notice that I'm saying good chance. I'm not guaranteeing optimal performance. We can still play poorly even if you are relaxed, loose, confident, trusting. You can still play poorly, but you're giving yourself such a better chance at that than if you have tension, doubt, heart racing. Can you see how between these two, I mean, which one would you rather be? Would you rather be on the left side or the right side, right? And I think everyone watching this video would say on the left side. It's not even close. But to get the left side and to avoid the right side, all you have to do, literally all you have to do is have better thoughts, which is a choice. All you have to do is think the thoughts on the left more than you think the thoughts on the right, and you will get this combo right here. I guarantee it. Okay, so just so you guys can see it, I've backed up so you guys can see all of my markings, and hopefully you guys can follow this. What I want you guys to do now, I want you guys to make this on your own piece of paper and choose your own event. Make it something personal. Make it something that's maybe happened to you lately. Write out what that thing is. Write out both sides of this chart. Okay, write out what your thoughts would be, both negative or more positive and more neutral ones. Write out what kind of emotions you would be feeling, how your body would be feeling. And then at the end, write out what percentage chance you think that you would have of having optimal performance based on how you had filled that out. So I want you guys to take this, copy this down on your own piece of paper in your journal, in your notebook, and then write out all of these things. Do that 3 to 5 times. And I want you guys to notice, okay, what are the thoughts that I'm having that are more negative, and what are the thoughts that I'm having that are more positive? What are those things you're coming up with? Because we need to be thinking those positive, more neutral ones more often, and we need to be eliminating those negative ones from our thought processes. Okay, so I want you guys to go through this and just make note of what those negative thoughts are and more positive thoughts. then you can go from there, right? The next time that you go to practice, tell yourself, okay, I'm going to say these 4 positive thoughts 5 times each. These are going to be my go-tos. Maybe it's next pitch. Maybe it's so what. Maybe it's I'll get him next time. Whatever those things might be, take those into practice. Take those into your game and get reps with those. Same thing with the negative ones. Maybe you have the same negative thought on all of your flow charts. Say, okay, this negative thought we're going to eliminate. That's no longer in my vocabulary. That's no longer something that I say. And by filling this out and by going through and evaluating what you've been saying to yourself, you're going to have this audit of things that you should say and things that you shouldn't say. If this video helped you understand what's been going on in your performances, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel. There's many more videos coming out about mental habits, how you can identify what's going on and how you can fix them. And I hope to see you there.